what's up, everybody? This is Donald from the Pinstripe Chronicles, and I'm joined by a full panel. Got Luca, who called the game with me on the Big Blue in the Bronx channel. He's at Nixcast on X. I've got the full panel here. I've got my co-host, my brother from another mother. We got Robinho, and I've got Lynn, a good friend from the Upper Deck, one of the great pods. So we are full panel here, and we're going to break down this absolute shameful, disgusting, disgrace, putrid organization, and I demand several heads on a block. I am disgusted right now. But what I will say is congratulations to Los Angeles Dodgers. They fully deserve the championship. They absolutely deserve it. There's no question at all that they fully deserve it. They always came back. Coming back from that spot, it was Garrett Cole was pitching a no-hitter. Halfway through that game, he was pitching a no-hitter, and the Yanks were up by 5 at Yankee Stadium. And they came back. Now, they came back because the Yankees let them come back, but they came back nonetheless. And then not only once, but they came back twice. They kept coming back. They've been doing it all playoffs, and they did it again in the World Series. They deserve all the praise in the world for that. They're a real team. Freddie Freeman, that's a real leader right there. He did some unbelievable stuff. Aaron Judge can maybe look at over there. Look at Freddie Freeman, because that's a real player right there. Freddie Freeman was amazing. So, shout out to the Dodgers, and great job, Dave Roberts. He made all the right calls. Did an amazing job. Managed it great. So, all the praise in the world goes to the Los Angeles Dodgers. But what have I been harping? Rob can testify to this. What is the one thing that I've been harping on about all season long? Rob, what have I been harping on about all season long with this Yankee team?
Fundamentals, Donald. The fundamentals.
Exactly. Your team's fatal flaw will appear in its most pressurized moments. And I've been saying it all season long, that it was going to come back and it was going to haunt us. Because this team's fundamentals are absolutely disgraceful. And it comes from the leadership. It comes from Aaron Boone. Now, did Aaron Boone make all those multiple errors in that inning? No, he didn't. But what he does do is he allows all this to happen under his watch. Because he always just poo-poos it away. There's zero accountability on this organization. There has never been any accountability in this organization since 2018. There has been zero accountability. And once again, you saw it right here. The craziest shit you will ever see in one inning. The craziest shit you will ever see in one goddamn inning. And the Yankees saved it for the grandest stage. The biggest implosion. I knew there was going to be an implosion. I've been saying it all season long. I was like, this team has no leadership. It's poorly coached. It's badly prepared. They don't know which base to throw to. They don't know where they should be fucking covering the bag. They don't know any of this shit. And it all was saved up for this unbelievable moment in the 5th inning where they did some of the stupidest shit you will ever see in your entire life. That's probably the most embarrassing inning in the history of the New York Yankees. And so many heads need to roll because of it. And we're going to get into that. Because I'm disgusted. And I want to hear New York, New York being played as the Dodgers celebrate on the Yankee Stadium turf. Shame on all of them. Luca, give me your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you, Donald, for allowing me to come on. And it's nice to be on with Rob and Lynn. This is my first time meeting you, obviously. But first off, I have a shot of vodka right here, which was in my liquor cabinet, so I'll be shooting that. But meanwhile, unfortunately, folks, now this is an early report. We don't know anything about the negotiations. Per Andy Martino, Aaron Boone is expected to be back next year. So you know what? Shot to that, everybody. Cheers.
No cheers to that.
Mm-hmm.
No cheering. No cheering.
Sorry. Now to get back to the subject. I'm feeling 3 emotions right now. I'm upset. I'm angry. And I'm also kind of like not surprised because this is what happens with an Aaron Boone team. And it's not even just what Dal brought up with the fundamentals. He's absolutely right in that. I think the biggest problem with this organization is they're very complacent. Their standards have obviously lowered from the glory years. Their object is not to win a world championship. It's obviously to get there and just be in the playoffs. I'm glad that this team made the World Series, but just everything they showed throughout the season in the past couple of years, they're just a very complacent organization. Nobody's held accountable. Nobody's afraid of losing their job. None of that is secure. There's no locker room leader, I believe. I believe the Yankees run a country club atmosphere where everything's okay. Um, that's the soft culture that the Yankees have tipped to, and clearly, with as Donald said, with regards to the fundamentals, which they go hand in hand, nobody's held accountable for having no fundamentals. Nobody, no, what we saw. It's not even just the players, the coaches too. Like Luis Rojas got Stan thrown out in Game 3. That was awful. We know he's been bad the entire season. He's been basically guiding Yankee players to be thrown out at home. Is he going to get fired? Who knows? And at the end of the day, if you want my personal opinion, I'm very glum in this. I'm very dark in this. I don't think anything's going to change. Aaron Boone will probably be back next year. Who knows if Juan Soto is coming back next year? But I'll hand it off to the next person because I don't want to keep repeating myself.
You're spot on, man. Lynn, good to see you hop on with us. Thank you so much. Lynn, share with us your thoughts.
So I'm just about on par with Luca with the emotions. The emotions are just swinging back and forth. All season long, what have I said on every show? That we need to manage our expectations. And I'm really pissed at myself because tonight I did not do that. Last night with all the breakthroughs that happened and the relief of not saying, okay, we're not getting swept. That was my first and I should have known then and there. If I was like, well, good, at least we won't have been swept. And then to have the most perfect first 4 innings that led me to I forgot to manage my expectations. So I'm mad at myself. And because I've been at this since 1973. So I know that this it's not just now. Um there's been a lot of this throughout the years, but Luca's spot on in that, and we've all talked about this ad nauseum, that there is no heart and soul to this club, and there is no accountability from the front office on down and from the clubhouse on up. I don't want to see my captain smiling at these, post game interviews to say we're just going to keep grinding when he has been a big part of the problem. I want it, so you're going to keep that company face on. Nobody believes you, and it just pisses us off. And you're right, and Luke is great to set those expectations down. We should not expect anything to change. We should fully expect that Scott Boras has a hard on right now because the money just went up in his mind. Like, yeah, you got to convince me that you deserve Soto back after this
Right.
show. So there's that. So let's not have such great expectations about Soto signing. For all we've been telling everybody that he loves being here, he's happy with the Dominican community, and he's really embracing it. You know what? He'll be happy anywhere with a team that's producing and for the right money. So I'm going to be realistic
Oh
about
my
that.
God! I have to read out Alex's message here. Alex from Big Blue in the Bronx. You guys sum up to his channel. We called the entire World Series. So salute. Aaron Boone, this is a very difficult moment for us. As I said to the guys, obviously it stings now. Oh, that's so sweet. This is going to sting forever. Oh, there were a lot of heartfelt messages to each other. Oh, really? Did you
good.
really send each other some Valentine's cards? I
Are you
love you.
sending us a Hallmark?
Oh,
Fuck
sweet.
off.
Roses
I,
are red, violets are blue. Go fuck yourself.
yeah. And
Right.
so yeah, that's going to be Taylor Swift's next hit, I imagine.
Li, not a single person here is blaming Aaron Judge for this. We're saying he's a part of it. Once again, please use your ears and go ahead and watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Then, if that's what you're gonna do, you moron. Anyway, I'm not even. I didn't expect us to come back. It would have been nice to go back to LA, but we didn't. It's over. We didn't deserve it. It's simple as that. The Dodgers are better. They took advantage of mistakes. They took advantage of opportunities where we didn't. Is it all on Aaron Judge? No. He did come through tonight, but he also had a huge error that led to the rally. So he giveth and he taketh. For that to happen in a season where we've been preaching from the start that this defense is going to cost us a game in October, and it cost us our season in the World Series, it's poetic. It's almost like, see, maybe we do know what we're talking about, because we have been talking about this all season long, whether it was the infield or the outfield, it didn't matter. Just three plays that just perfectly exemplify the New York Yankees 2024 season. A drop. That's Aaron Judge's first error in the outfield on a fly ball, I believe, since 2017. The throw from Volpe, whatever the hell he was doing, and then Anthony Rizzo, who's been playing the game of baseball for his entire life. I went to the same high school as him, so I would know. He doesn't know how to run to first base. These are not Aaron Boone things, but these are like baseball player things. Like, you should know this. You shouldn't need to have Aaron Boone tell you to run to first base. You can't point the finger at one person. You can't. It's a team effort, right? The entire team is to blame for this, with the exception of maybe three guys. And that'd be Soto, Stanton, and Cole. Garrett Cole gave you two absolutely beautiful starts in the most important series of the year, and we didn't win a single one of them. And we should have won both of them. And this series, had we just been a fundamentally sound team with a smart manager, we would have been up 3-2 going into Game 6. So there's your season right there. It ended quite poetically. What's Boone got to say? I'm heartbroken. It doesn't take away my pride of what that means to me and what that group forged this year. I don't really blame him for that. He's the manager. Those are his players. That I would have a problem with. The one before that, where the heartfelt messages, he said that after the ALCS 2 years ago. So that's just a rehash. I have no issue with him being proud of his team. He's the manager, and he's going to be back next year. But yeah, this was just this loss was just the 2024 Yankees personified, and it's unfortunate. But I know it might not be the right time for it, but I do think Soto's coming back, and I will. I really think that we have a chance to go back next year. Maybe I'm too optimistic, but I just don't know if there's another team in the AL that can beat us. It's just about getting back there, and hopefully they're better. But maybe I'm just being too optimistic in a dark time. But I don't think there's a scenario where they let Juan Soto leave, because if he does, you're not sniffing the ALCS.
No, I mean, this team is Juan Soto. So if they don't bring back Juan Soto, you might as well find something else to do for 6 months of the regular season, because the Yankees are not going to be involved. That's it. That's how important Juan Soto is. He's more important than Aaron Judge. He is. He's a better player. Let's talk about this disgraceful inning. I still have to get my head around this awful inning. But it started off with the highest of highs, and that was why this particular loss really hurts and really angers me. Because the first 5 innings of this game was arguably the best 5 innings the Yankees have played all season long. And that's what is particularly frustrating. All season long, we have been waiting on it all coming together. And for that 5 innings, it all came together. Garrett Cole was pitching a no-hitter. He was unbelievable. He had that look in his eye, and he was taking everyone down. He made every incredible Dodger look like shit. For 5 innings, he was just mowing them all down. Unleashing 99-mile-an-hour fastballs, per pinpoint location, blowing everybody away. And then the Yankee bats woke up. And boy, did they wake up. Finally, Captain Titanic actually showed up and did some stuff, and boy, was he great. Hit a big home run, and then, of course, Big fucking G. I lost my mind. Luca could testify to that. When Big G hit that home run, I literally lost my mind. I was screaming. I was so happy. I was like, holy shit, this is special. Of course, I'm not even mentioning Jazz Chisholm's absolutely monster shot. And then, of course, Aaron Judge made that phenomenal catch at the wall. I thought when he made that catch at the wall, that's it. The Yankees are going to Game 6. Our tails are up. Garrett Cole is unstoppable. This team has finally come together at the best time. And you never know, because the Dodgers pitching situation was up in the air going into Game 6 and Game 7. I was really excited. I was like, maybe, just maybe, this thing could happen. And that's what's great about what the Yankees do, is just when you're back in and you believe, they're like, oh, you guys wait. We've got this coming. And then this phenomenal inning. So how do we break down that inning? Let's start with Rob.
Terrible. Just between the first play, they get a hit, and then Judge has the error. Then the Volpe play.
Not just any old error, bro. It was a can of corn.
It was really just the easiest play you could have made. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out words for that. It was almost like something you'd see in MLB The Show when you're trying to force you switch over to the other team to force yourself to win. That's what it looked like somebody did, because for Aaron Judge to drop a pop fly, and then for Volpe to throw to the wrong base, for Rizzo to not run to first and Cole to not cover, you're like, what's happening here? Like, how is this real? And unfortunately it was. And then naturally, here comes Freddie. Freddie fucking Krueger having to ruin our night once again. That guy killed us. I have nothing but respect for the dude. He completely kicked our ass. And Teoscar Hernandez, they kept finding the grass when they needed to. It's not like they were crushing the ball, but they were finding the grass. And that inning was just so disgusting, but yet comical. I was laughing. I was laughing watching. I was like, this is really happening. Like, in real time. This is not a dream. This is not somebody fucking with my head. It's not AI. This was real. And this was Game 5 of the World Series. And this is what cost us our season. So, it's, again, like I said earlier, poetic. It's a perfect ending to a roller coaster of a season. And it can't happen. And it did. And you're looking at, why did the Yankees lose this series? Well, you can look no further than the 5th inning of this game and the 10th inning of Game 1.
Facts. Lynn, give me your thoughts on what you just witnessed in that inning.
So the issue with Judge was that it wasn't like the common I lost the ball up above. He wasn't even looking up above. He was looking at the player, at the runners. So, what distracted him in that moment is beyond me. When it comes to Volpe, we know Hernandez has wheels, and I think that he was more distracted with I got to get rid of this ball and get it over to third and try to beat Hernandez. And so it was poorly executed. That was not on Chisholm in the least bit. There was no way Chisholm would have been able to catch that ball. He'd have to put his wrist in an angle that doesn't even exist at where a wrist can bend. So Volpe just didn't take. He takes that deep breath every time he is about to swing. He needed to take a quick breath there and think about where he was really throwing that ball. And then what would the worst thing have been? So Hernandez would have been safe at third, but we wouldn't have had the run. It was very consequential in that way.
Lack of fundamentals. The easy
Yep.
out was to throw it first. He easily could have made the play. At first, he had more than enough time to throw it first and get that out. Take
Right.
the guaranteed out. You should always take the guaranteed out.
Yep.
Luca can testify. I didn't take that inning very well. Luca, break down what you saw of that disgraceful inning.
Well, I felt good going into the fifth inning. Garrett Cole was pitching a gem. Obviously, Hernandez gets on with a single. Tommy Edman hits a fly ball to center. Judge dropping the ball was completely unforeseen. He's usually a master in center field, even though, you could question his hitting during the playoffs. He's been a master at center field and just the field in general. Seeing him drop that ball was absolutely nuts. It looked like he was more concentrated on throwing the ball before even catching it. But the play, should I say, with Anthony Volpe was pretty questionable. We've seen a few times this year where he's tried to make that third base play where he tries to get the lead runner. It's a smart play. It's also a high risk, high reward play. If you make the throw and the force is made, in which Jazz Chisholm hangs on, it's a very smart play. But if you don't execute it properly, I said at the time, it's high risk, high reward. It was very high risk, and you didn't reap the rewards. So he ended up reaching, and that was costly. Obviously, next two at bats were strikeouts, just looking through it. Mookie Betts had a single. Obviously, that was the Anthony Rizzo dumb play. I feel like it was both equally on Cole and Rizzo, but Rizzo more so because it looked like it could be one of those ground balls where Rizzo could just field it himself unassisted. But just that play just led Freddie. You have Freddie Freeman coming up next, who was obviously elected the MVP of the World Series. He comes in with a 2-run single. Teoscar Hernandez has torn the Yankees up over his career. He hits a 2-run double. So it was an inning made for disaster, especially after that Rizzo play where you could just gotten out of it.
I'm just speechless. Let's get into this chat. We've got a lot of comments here. Let's start with Breeze and Sky. I've got a Dodger fan in the chat here. Dodger fan here. The Yankees were the better team tonight, but those errors cost them. Thanks and congratulations to your Dodgers because they fully deserve it. They are the much better team in every facet. FJ, Cole and Rizzo had simultaneous brain farts on the Betts grounder. Let's talk about that. I think it's mostly on Rizzo as opposed to Garrett Cole because Rizzo had the ball and he only really needed to do was just show some urgency and tag the base, but he didn't do it. He just stared. It was like he had a complete brain fart. And he was standing right there. He literally could have walked. He could have moonwalked, Michael Jackson style, to the bag, if he wanted to, and still gotten the guy out. But he just stood. I couldn't fucking believe it. And it was just stupidity after stupidity after stupidity after stupidity. How is it possible to give up 5 runs and all of them being unearned? All of them being unearned. I am so sorry for Garrett Cole. I feel terrible for that guy. That guy pitched his heart out. He's got a bum elbow. He pitched over 108 pitches out there. He almost pitched a no-hitter until Aaron Judge, our captain, Anthony Volpe, our shortstop, and Rizzo, our apparent Gold Glove first baseman, all fucked up one after the other. Shame on all of them. Chris, fire everyone. Great to see Chris in the chat. I hope you're doing all right. You've been through a lot this year. Where our thoughts are with you. I hope you're doing well. Chris Dudley, got another well-informed Dodger fan in the chat. This series featured the Dodgers playing bad and the Yankees playing worse. I mean, you can't argue with that. That's as close as you can because the Dodgers tried to give it to us on a number of occasions, but the Yankees were like, no, you guys have it. You guys have it. You guys deserve it. FJ is spot on here. This Yankee loss is emblematic of the entire season. Spot on to you. Salute to you, FJ. Hope you're doing okay, brother. Awful, awful, awful loss. Got another Dodger fan in the chat. Good to see Dodger fans in the chat. A real organization with real expectations and real accountability and real professionalism. All the things that Yankees don't have. Go Dodgers. Good for you guys. Freddie. Freddie with a little Statue of Liberty. Yeah, well, Freddie absolutely. Freddie fingered the Yankees, that's for sure. 01, thanks for keeping the show going. I got you, brother. Don't worry. Jared Williams is disgusted. Absolutely disgraceful. That fifth inning was atrocious. Absolutely as bad as it gets. Yeah, the Yankees deserved to lose. They did. After they blew that, I was done. I was out. Even when we took the lead, I was still out. I was that furious and disgusted. Jacob, thank you so much for the support, man. Always with us. Shout out to y'all. Content this whole series. Thanks, man. Absolutely. Yeah, and really appreciate everything. All the fans here, everyone that's been checking up with us loyally all through the season. You guys have been there with us Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and Sundays. You're always there, and we can't appreciate that enough. And that's why we're trying to get as much content out for you guys as possible because you guys deserve it. You guys have been great. So we do really appreciate it. It's been one hell of a season. Yeah, so after that disgraceful inning, the Yankees still didn't back down. So, Lynn, give me your thoughts on how the following innings went.
I'm not going to go in sequence if you don't mind, but
Cool.
I feel like I owe Leiter Jr. an apology because I never would have thought that I'd be happy to see him come into a game. Um, and he did his job. He came out and did his job. Um, and so, but Canely, man, Canely certainly did not assist in a bad situation. He was horrendous tonight,
Oh,
and that was painful, and that cost us as well. And Weaver's just cooked, and really, should have. It's a shame that they had to use him, because he faded away. Um, Started out being very Weaver, and then it was just clear that he was out of gas. And we still needed him to be in there, but he just couldn't continue. So, it just, again, it makes me wonder why there were guys brought onto this roster that we never knew they even existed. There's no evidence that Stroman was anywhere. Not suggesting he would have been appropriate in any of these spots. But, and Cabrera, are we back to where's Waldo? Because, where was he? Yeah, defensively clutch, not so much at third, but he's been fine at first. I bet you anything there would have been urgency with that ball that Rizzo didn't even try to charge and get to the base with. I bet you anything that Cabrera would have been the one. So, um, yeah, and then the rest just from there was just we opened up the doors everywhere.
I'm not going to speak for you, Lynn, but I don't believe that you actually said that Weaver was cooked. I think you meant that Weaver was exhausted. Is that what you
Yeah,
meant?
that's what I mean
Yeah.
by cooked. Yeah, I mean, so Jacob, when you go into the dictionary and you look at definitions, there's usually multiple interpretations of the word. That's not the interpretation I was going for. So you're talking about number 1 next to cooked in the dictionary. I'm talking about number 2. He was not ready to be his full self because of everything else he contributed to this entire series. But, he's the go-to guy, and I felt for him. And believe me, he is mad and upset at himself because he feels accountability 100% all the time.
Spot on. Look, give me your thoughts, man. What do you think about some of the things that Lynn was saying?
Just like you, Donald, I was kind of like, what should I say, nonchalant when the Yankees scored that run to make it 6-5. When the
One
Yankees,
plus,
it
yeah.
was a long sacrifice fly, but yeah, I mean, I agree with Lynn. Weaver was cooked, not in the sense of like, oh, he's a bad pitcher, but he was exhausted the way the Yankees used him. The Yankees used him last night. Um, should I say in that big blowout win? But obviously, Weaver was put in a bad situation. If you're going to pitch Weaver, you might as well go 6 outs with him instead of throwing him
Mhm.
into a situation where he's almost bases loaded.
Once again, Aaron Boone, bro.
What's up, Roy? Congratulations, man. Thank you for being a loyal watcher of this channel. And hey, we were talking before the series, and we said best of luck. May the best team win, and the best team did win. So congratulations, Roy. But yeah, when they took the lead, I was like, hey, we might have a chance to steal one still and go back to LA. And then the Dodgers tied it, took the lead, and I just once they couldn't score in the eighth inning with the do up that we had, there was no way that we were scoring with the bottom of the order. It was almost perfect that Verdugo was the last out because he probably shouldn't have been in there as long as he was. So many guys that were part of that. Lynn, you brought up a great point. Where was Stroman? Why was he on the roster in the LCS and the World Series if he wasn't going to be used? Jason Dominguez didn't even get a start. Cabrera should have easily been in that game at some point over Rizzo. Rizzo's at bats have been okay, but his defense has been suspect all postseason. And I thought anyone could have done better. It's a shame John Birdie got hurt because we could have certainly used him.
Yes.
Facts.
Yeah, and if there's one positive spin on this is that hopefully won't have to see Rizzo next year. We won't have to see Verdugo next year. Might not even see Stroman next year. See you next year. Yeah, I hope so. Roy. I think there's a really good chance that we can run it back. I believe so. I'm gonna keep that belief. If we get Soto back, then I'll really believe it. But hey, there's Tats.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
rough.
echo Tad's sentiment. Big thank you again to all our family members for the ride you've taken with us all. Spot on. Everyone who's in the chat, everyone that's watched us loyally, we can't thank you all enough.
1,000%. But yeah, there's just the Dodgers are better, and it could have gone either way. It really could have gone either way, but they were the better team, and you can't take that away from them. Because had we taken advantage of Dodger sloppiness, we'd have been like, well, you got to capitalize. So yeah, was their rally given to them by us? Absolutely, we handed that to them on a silver platter. But guess what? They took it. They said, all right, well, you want to give us this game? We'll take it. No, there's no fucking reason you should be giving up 5 or unearned runs in one inning. I think that's the first time ever that's happened actually in the World Series. So
Yeah,
Yankees broke a record.
I think it's the most disgraceful inning in Yankee history, and
Absolutely,
for me, I think that should spark changes. So I'm going
it
to ask,
should.
what changes would you all make? Let's start with Luca. What changes would you make?
Well, first of all, I've been saying this for years, and I will continue to say it. I don't think the Yankees will ever win a World Series with the tandem of Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone. It just won't happen. We've seen it
Completely
through the
agree.
last couple of years, and nothing will change, in my opinion. I would fire Brian Cashman. I would fire Aaron Boone. But the one thing is, Cashman's still under contract, so I don't know how much concern Hal would be with paying him. And just considering that Cashman's been with the organization a number of years, and he's considered a member of the family, this, that, and the third. But first off, I would not re-sign Aaron Boone. Sorry that my camera shut off, but shutting off on and on. I would not re-sign Aaron Boone. He's been the same manager for the past couple of years, no matter the talent you give him. At the end of the day, he is the same old manager. He has created this culture of complacency. He can come out with the same cookie cutter crap. The team will always have a ceiling with him. So I do that. Marcus Stroman's probably gone next year. The fact the Yankees didn't even use him in the bullpen while signing to something around $18 million a year is shrewd and pretty weird. So he's probably gone. I'd absolutely just open the checkbook for Juan Soto, but it would have to start with management. My changes would be firing Michael Fishman, Aaron Boone, Brian Cashman, but two of those things will never happen. So that's just my thoughts.
That's very fair. Lynn, what changes would you make?
Well, before I tell you about the changes, I do think we have to remember that um, Aaron Boone managed the hell out of the DS and the CS. I mean, we got through some tough teams then also. And, I think that he just is not ready and does not have the wherewithal or the makeup for the biggest stage. I would like to see him gone, and I agree that it's not going to happen. Not a thing that I would say, or predict would come to be. So, agreed that that front office, it begins there. It is so dysfunctional, and there is no cohesiveness.
It's true.
Um, and so they are not built to even get close to being a dynasty ever again the way they are. They're soft. They're thinking that they're going to be shrewd with their pockets and work with what we have, like we're post depression era, and we're going to hold on to all our money because for a rainy day. That's just not baseball, Susan. Certainly not in this day and age. And they're going to have to make bank on things. Agreed across the board about Doogie being gone. It's a shame that we wasted an opportunity with Stroman because we will never know what Stroman could have given. We really won't. And so that's a shame. And you know what? I'd like to see him go somewhere where he'll thrive. And Doogie needs to go. I think that he did make some good effort tonight though, and he did produce some things that
He
should have been.
did. He actually had a
He
decent,
did.
decent
He,
series.
he was doing a last shot audition tonight, as far as I'm concerned.
He did.
But we're not going to see him back. And I also wonder about Cole. So this whole club option thing, I'm turning that back to you guys and what's going to happen there. And if we're going to retain him, I hope that we have him for one more season.
I think he opts out, and then we take
and then
on
run after him then. Like,
yeah, I think that's what will happen.
he'll play hard
Rob,
to get.
what changes would you make, brother?
I'd get rid of Rojas. I'd get rid of Rosen. I'd get rid of everybody except for Matt Blake. But we know Boone's not going anywhere, but ideally he wouldn't be here. I wanted a new GM, but I do think Cashman had a fine offseason, so I can't really blame him too much, although his deadline stunk. I don't see him going anywhere either. I want new faces in this analytical department. I want new faces around Brian Cashman instead of these old heads. He surrounded himself with guys that were old school, and it doesn't win. Old school doesn't really win anymore. You need analytics. The Dodgers use it, and they run their organization by analytics, and it works. The Yankees use analytics, and it doesn't work. So they have to get a whole new approach to things because for whatever reason, they can't figure out why Aaron Judge becomes basically a ghost in October. He's the best player in the world in the regular season, and when the calendar turns to October, he's just a shell of himself. I don't know what it is, but it seemed like he was figuring out his swing those last two games. And you wonder what he could have done in LA. But he was also he was also a part. He was also a part of why we aren't going to LA or going back to LA. So it is what it is there. But they need to blow it up when it comes to the front office a little bit. We know Cashman's not going anywhere, but why won't you give Kim Eng a shot to come back and work with him? Why won't you do these things that it would just make sense instead of running it back with the same nonsense that we've been having since 2004? Like, Our staff has been around the longest in all the sport, and it hasn't won us anything since in '09 was great, but that was largely in part to an old core with a lot of money thrown on top of it and only got you one ring. So it wasn't like that was a dynasty. I want changes and I want accountability, but Aaron Boone being announced as coming back 10 minutes after the thing ended, it's almost as like didn't matter what happened. They had made up their mind.
Exactly.
Once he got here, he wasn't going anywhere. So I mean, get him a new third base coach. Get a new. I don't even know if a new hitting coach would solve anything. We've been cycling through those like bubble gum at this point. So I guess you keep Rosen. I don't know. I'm not expecting a big offseason either. I think it's just going to be bringing back Soto and a few smaller bullpen moves and just use your farm system, whether it's for trades or to call guys up and actually use them.
Lynn, you're raising a finger?
I am raising my finger. It was supposed to be this one. No, it really was this one. We have all of these Yankee we have all of these Yankee greats in our periphery. We had Pettit helping out at times. We have O'Neill in the booth and roaming around. Often now leaving the basement for a change. Why are we not capitalizing on bringing them back in a real capacity?
It's a different game than when it was in the 90s. We can't keep clinging to the 90s. Because what if Pettit was the pitching coach or Cone was the pitching coach? What if O'Neill was the hitting coach? What if Posada was the manager and Jeter was the GM and we didn't win a championship? Would we be calling for these guys' heads? As I've said this years ago. Do you really want to say fire Jorge Posada or fire Derek Jeter? Because that's what Marlins fans were saying.
No, but you know what? Bring back Girardi.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
We could disagree, but, I just, these, other than Blake, and I agree with everything you said, Rob, I just feel like we could be getting a higher caliber. And I also hear what you're saying about I need to let go of the 90s and early 2000s. But my point is, bring back guys that are closer to the game, and know this team and this organization and get them back to what the organization is supposed to represent.
I couldn't agree with you more, Lynn. Yeah, the changes. To be honest, I wouldn't get rid of Brian Cashman. Not that it would happen anyway. He made the great trade for Juan Soto. It was a very good trade. The Jazz Chisholm trade turned out to be a very successful trade. I think it was a decent trade. He's pretty good at trading. It's his free agent signings which are usually bizarre. He had a terrible trade deadline though, apart from Jazz Chisholm. But I love our international scouting. I like Tim Nearing. I think he's a good. I think he's done some good work. I think we do excellently in the international market. So those guys are all safe as far as I'm concerned. I think our minor league coaching is all exemplary because we have a very good developmental record with our minor leagues. So that's all good as far as I'm concerned. So that's why I wouldn't get rid of Brian Cashman, because a lot of the things that he's overseeing are actually a success. So I think those things are pretty positive. I would love to take up Rob's point there, and if you got rid of Gene Afterman and brought in Kim Ng and groom her to be Brian Cashman's replacement, say in 12 to 24 months, and be the future GM, I think that would be a really nice, smart move to make. And absolutely, there shouldn't be any question about this one. This one's a layup. Get rid of Mike Fishman. That dude is a fucking disgrace. That dude has no idea what he's doing. He has no idea what planet he's on. He is a horrible, horrible baseball mind. He has no baseball mind. He knows nothing about the game of baseball. If we used all four of this panel's IQ on baseball combined, it would be a million times what Mike Fishman's IQ is in terms of baseball. That guy is a moron, a complete and total moron. So that is the first move that I make. Get rid of him. Next move I make, absolutely get rid of our joke third base coach. Luis Rojas has got to go. Maybe you're a nice guy, but you are a terrible third base coach, bro. You were getting all our guys thrown out. Your body count with guys thrown out at home plate is fucking crazy. Jesus, you should open up a fucking OnlyFans account. The amount of bodies that you're fucking collecting. So get rid of him. Get rid of our hitting coach. That dude's ass. I actually want a professional hitting coach. Let's ask an old school guy. Let's try Tino Martinez. I want an old school Yankee that can fucking hit to coach this fucking team. And fuck your analytics. I want someone see the ball, hit the ball. Right? Old school. Get Tino Martinez to be our hitting coach. Pitching coach, we keep Matt Blake, but I would love Andy Pettitte to be more involved to help with certain aspects. I can even make the argument that David Cohn should probably be highly involved because he's very in tune with the analytics, but also he could tap into your mind as a professional. He's always all about that. I think he'd be a good mix. You could have Matt Blake's analytics and then David Cohn's analytics plus his knowledge of how to tap in to pitching in big moments. And that's something that could really help because, to be honest, outside of Garrett Cole, there's a lot of mentality issues that need to be sorted out. So that's something that I would change. And last but not least, Aaron Boone. I mean, the excuses that the Yankees make for Aaron Boone are like the excuses that the New York Giants make for Daniel Jones. He just needs to get this around him. He just needs that, and then he'll be great, But as 6 years pass, it's the same fucking story. And I will promise you the Yankees will never win a World Series with Aaron Boone. He is not that guy. Because the amount of times that he poo-pooed away any questions about the lack of fundamentals in this team, and he was always like, oh, no, there's no problem here. Our defense is great. And he kept making excuse. Well, how do you like it now? And if the Yankees had any shame, he would be fired. Any shame. Shameless. Shameful. Disgusting. Juan Soto has been talking, and he's been talking about the Yankees in the past tense, which is interesting. Just catching his post game. Juan Soto and the perception of him staying in New York, I don't think so. At the end of the day, we're going to look at every situation, every offer that we'll get, and the decision, and take the decision from there. He says on if the Yankees have the advantage in free agency, no. I feel like every team has the same opportunity. Great. That's great fucking news. Great news. And I'm looking at the rest of this Yankee postseason press conference, and it's a whole lot of nothing. So yeah, Juan Soto is not saying that the Yankees have the advantage. He's saying that every team has as much of an advantage as the Yankees. That's not a good fucking sign. And I'll be perfectly honest, there's no season worth playing if Juan Soto doesn't come back next year. And it's not anger talking. It's just straight facts. Because who do you trust in October? It's Big G and Juan Soto. And I'm sorry, but Big G's not going to be here for another fucking 10 years. It'll be the Juan Soto show. So if Juan Soto doesn't come back, pack it up. Because this Yankee team stinks. It's ass. and it won't come back next year. I don't think there's a World Series next year unless there's a Juan Soto. It's fucking pathetic, team. Luca.
Well, I was going to say in regards to what Rob was saying, and I think he's absolutely right. I mean, I have a lower opinion on Cashman as opposed to all you guys, but I think Rob is a great point when talking about the members of the front office. Like Gene Afterman's been with the Yankees since I believe the early 2000s. Tim Naring has been with the Yankees since the mid 2000s. Mike Fishman 2005. Damon Oppenheimer, who runs the farm system since I think mid 2000s or early 2000s. Like we need fresh blood in here. Like one guy that was fired after actually coincidentally winning World Series, James Click. Maybe you look into him possibly as a front office name. Now, again, like he got fired. I don't know what he's doing now, but he is just a name I would throw out there. But again, investing, and that's been a long problem with the Yankees. I've been saying for the past 2-3 years. They got to invest in new names. Like obviously, you want to invest in the new analytics that everybody's investing in, to which they're more successful than the Yankees, because obviously what how the Yankees interpret analytics and how everybody else interprets analytics is completely different. Not to mention that the Yankees obviously need some new faces, but they also need to. There's got to, as you know, Michael Kay says it sometimes, and I agree with this. The one of the only points I agree with. You got to have analytics. That's fine. You want to keep yourself updated with the new game, but at the same time, you want to have a little bit of the a feel for the game and go with your gut sometimes. That's the problem with the Yankees still.
Fact. Luca, do you actually agree that the next year would be toast if they don't bring back Juan Soto?
Yeah. I would 100% say that, and I already made my points about Boone and Cashman and not me going to the stadium. But if you don't bring back Juan Soto, you're going to piss off a lot of people. And I'll bet money. I will bet money. I don't know how much I'll bet. The Yankees will be writing a bunch of PR articles saying, Jason Dominguez can become the next Juan Soto. That's what will happen. I'm telling you right now. John Heyman, Joel Sherman, Andy Martino, they will all put it in the paper. Yep. Bet you $25 they have it in the drafts now. Juan Soto leaves for the Mets or the Phillies. Jason Dominguez will become the next Juan Soto. Bet on it.
That's a great point. Rob, what would you say to the contention that the Yankees would be completely toast if they don't bring back Juan Soto? There wouldn't be even more season worth playing next year if they don't bring him back.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far, because they're still a good team, but they're not as good with him or without him. I do believe that his quote isn't really anything to look too far into. He's not going to say, "Oh, absolutely, the Yankees have the inside edge." No free agent, especially a Scott Boras representative, is going to put out his hand that early. The series just ended, and free agency doesn't start for another 5 days. So obviously, we know he's going to take all of his offers. He's going to listen to every team. I do believe he's going to be back. I believe there's unfinished business in his mind. But, I mean, he has to be back. One way or the other, they have to bring him back. They cannot be outbid for him, because no one's going to replicate that. And this is what I've been saying about prospects. He can't keep calling, because the Yankees aren't doing this. This is fans that are saying this. They were saying that Volpe's the next Jeter. They're the ones that are saying you can't trade Spencer Jones. He's the Juan Soto replacement. Remember how many times we heard that in the offseason? When I was saying I would trade Spencer Jones for Corbin Burns or for Dylan Cease, I was getting told by fans he's the Soto replacement. I'm sorry, he's not. Neither is Jason Dominguez. Nobody is replicating what Juan Soto brings to you. So it's like Lynn always says, you got to manage your expectations. That is especially true when it comes to prospects. So he certainly was, Nikki. Tommy Edman was a phenomenal pickup, and I fucking wanted him.
Rob said it.
He was a Yankee killer all series.
Rob, speak it with your chest, because you put out a great tweet, bro. Get your tweet put up, because you put it up months ago about Edman.
I don't know if I can go back and find it, but I just said, Jody, no, we don't. If you want to, I don't think we've seen you in the chat before, but if you want to watch our show from earlier, we ripped into that moron in right field yesterday, so you're more than welcome to go back and watch our show from earlier today. Not a single one of us were in agreement with that idiot in the crowd, and he should be banned for life. But, yeah, I said that because if you remember, the rumor was we were going to get Flaherty. And the ripple effect from that would have meant we would have had Nestor Cortez be swapped for Edman, which meant the Dodgers would have never have gotten those two. Now I know Flaherty got his ass kicked in this series tonight, but he was pretty good in Game 1. That could have changed the entire postseason because Tommy Edman was absolutely nuclear in that NLCS. So Edman's a great player. He just needs to stay healthy. And I remember bringing him up on the show when he was hurt at the time. When the Dodgers got him, he was hurt. But I said, if this guy's healthy, he is a much better player than Gleyber Torres, and DJ LeMahieu at the time was still playing.
Yeah.
And it would have been fine to see Nestor go because what was he really in the postseason? Nothing. He wasn't a factor. So, hell yeah, I wanted Tommy Edman. I've been talking about him for a couple of years on this channel, actually. Me and Tats have had conversations about him. So, and by the way, Tats, I see you there with them specs on. So why don't you chime in?
No, I wanted to jump in real quick. One, it's a shame to see it's a shame to see the season end. But it was to a superior team. Hats off to the Dodgers. Like I said, my little nephew is a big Dodgers fan. He's the only one I'm happy for. The main reason I'm jumping on is because of some of the things that were commented by people new to us that might not know, that haven't followed us all year. And I did at Jody in the chat. So I want to point out specifically, look, there's nobody that can handle the heckling more than anybody on my team of the Pitchside Chronicles. It was more, if you're going to heckle, just be respectful. You were very respectful in your comments. And a lot of Dodgers fans are in here. They want to pour their champagne on us. I completely respect that. And there's nobody on this team that respects it. Or disrespect, has any disrespect towards Dodger fans. So I want to get that out plain and clearly. Because we always appreciate other fan bases giving us their perspective. As you know, Nick, he's been in our chat for a long time. He's a family member of mine. Chris Dudley, he's been with us for a little while. Roy Estrada, there are guys that come in, they throw their dirt on us, but with class. We just want to keep it that way. As far as how this was a brutal loss, guys. I gotta say it. Does it erase everything that they accomplished to this point? I'm going to say no. The Dodgers gave us the gentleman's sweep. You got to respect it. But the Yankees came out today. They gave it everything they had. They just fell short. They didn't have the depth that the Dodgers had, and that falls on the front office, not the players.
Spot on, Tats. Absolutely spot on. Nikki, I love that comment. That if I could star that a second time, beautiful. I would.
Might be the comment of the year.
Oh, absolutely.
Nikki from way downtown. Tats.
What's up?
What do you think about what changes you would make?
The changes I would make, Boone can't come back. Sorry, it's as soon as he got to the World Series, I'm like, they're gonna re-up this fucking guy. It seems like that's the direction they're going. It's the wrong direction.
Amen.
He's not a leader. He's not. He's not that rally guy. He's and I'm gonna compare it to the team that just beat us. He's no Dave Roberts.
Definitely not.
He's no Alex Cora. He's not even a Showalter. He's not that guy that's going to get these guys keep going. He's not a Tory. He's not even a Girardi.
Not a Mendoza. Yep.
Amen. Preach.
We've said it, and we have given him praise when it's deserved. I'm not going to say that he's been a complete loser, but tonight he lost in the ultimate battle with your ace on the mound. He wasn't able to will his team to get it back to LA. I don't care if it came down to the 15th inning. Losing this game, you cannot bring him back.
Amen to that. And it really says a lot about how tone deaf the Yankees are, where it's like a unanimous panel, or all unanimous, that Aaron Boone cannot come back because he is not a leader. It's unanimous. And we're all very level headed fans. We're not just angry screaming from the rooftops. We're thinking, right, what is the upside to bringing him back?
Well, Donald, let me interrupt you for a second, right? Because I know I'm just getting here and I'm really late in the wings here, right? Boone took over for a team where Girardi had them one game away from the World Series in 2017. What
Right.
has he done prior to this World Series run to show you that he could lead this team? And the Dodgers are not the AL Central, and I'm not saying that to diminish the Yankees' run this year. I'm not. The players handled their business against the teams they were supposed to. They ran into a juggernaut, and we did not have the leader to get us past the juggernaut. So there needs to be a serious change going forward.
Yeah.
And I'm not being bitter because you lost tonight. This has been a feeling that everybody on this channel and a lot of friends of ours like Luca from Big Blue, we have all felt this for a long time. Boone's not the guy. We wanted him to be, but he's not.
No, I know it's getting late, so let's finish on this question. Who would be the best choice to take over for Aaron Boone? Now, it looks like Aaron Boone's coming back, but hypothetically, who would be your choice to replace Aaron Boone if a miracle happened? Let's start with Luca.
In terms of experienced managers, the one guy that's out there who did more with less, he was actually fired this season. Team's not bringing him back. It's Skip Schumacher. I'd get a look into him. I know this guy's also been out of the game for a few years. I don't know how much in tune he's been into. My second option would be John Farrell, but Skip Schumacher, he's been in tune with the game, obviously. He took the Marlins from basically a team with no expectations to a team that made it to the division series against the Phillies last year. I'd 100% take Schumacher, see what he can do. Because, again, he did more with less, and I respect what Schumacher did. And it's unfortunate that the Marlins just completely tore their entire roster to shreds. They're going to trade a lot of young players. You saw what they did to Arias earlier in the year. So it's Schumacher for me.
I love that. Lynn.
I know that we can't get him, but I'd like Mendoza out on the right side of the river. I'd like him back. He was an excellent bench coach, and I think that he made all the difference with the Mets and putting them as far as they got, with barely making the wild card, and a team that's going to be something to really watch out for has been developed for next season. I wouldn't be mad at Mendoza, but I know we're not going to get him.
That's a pretty good one. How about Uncle Ted's?
Yeah, no, Mendoza would be the other. Lynn, I don't argue your point, but I'm gonna give a rebuttal to that point. We all thought that when the Yankees let Rob Thompson go to the Phillies and the run that they went on, that he was the guy. He hasn't gotten it done. Mendoza, he had a good run in his rookie year as a manager. He didn't get it done. He's too Yankified. I think we should bring that back. He's too Yankified. Credit to Donald for that phrase. I would try to get a Dusty Baker out of retirement. Somebody with that old school mentality that has, a pulse on the game. But I actually like Luca's suggestion with Shoemaker.
Yeah, I think that's a good suggestion. Okay, let's ask Robinho.
I was gonna say Schumacher as well. So Luca's got a great point there because
Yeah.
the Marlins did that man dirty. The Marlins are a terrible organization. They made the playoffs last year with a terrible team, and then they gave him even less this year and let him go. I think that's a guy that deserves another chance with a better roster. Someone's going to hire him more than likely sooner than later, and it won't be the Yankees because, well, our manager's under contract for next year officially, or at least reports are that he's going to be back. So I guess we're waiting for 2026 to find out who our next manager is going to be. We'll see who's available after the 2025 season, I guess. So come back to me in a year and I'll have an answer for you. Because Aaron Boone's the manager
It's so
for
sad.
2025.
It feels so sad.
It's sad on top of sad. Oh my God.
My choice would be the prying Mike Schilt from the San Diego Padres to be our manager. He won Manager of the Year for the St. Louis Cardinals back in 2019. He did an amazing job, and he was wrongly fired. He got more out of the sum of his parts in that Cardinals team than Aaron Boone has ever done since 2018. Um, and he's done a brilliant job with the Padres. And to be fair, I thought the Padres might have beaten the Dodgers because of the way he managed that. He's a very good manager. Mike Schilt would be my choice, but the other choice would actually be Jorge Posada. If there is someone who really personifies what the dynasty was and personifies leadership and personifies holding people accountable, it's Jorge Posada. In Old Timers Day, Jorge Posada was very pointed in his criticism of the way things are going with the Yankees these days. I think Jorge Posada would really light a fire in them, and that's why Brian Cashman would never do it. But Jorge Posada, I think he has manager material. Plus, catchers always make good managers. I think he would be. I think he'd be an excellent candidate. So Mike Schilt or Jorge Posada would be my choice. And hey, it doesn't look like it's going to happen this year, but maybe next year when Aaron Boone eventually gets fired for his disgraceful management. Evan Spitzberg, good to see you in the chat, man. We were there when the Yankees got blown out by the Mets. We were all screaming, "Fire Boone!" And it looks like we were right.
I just want to say real quick, I like Brad's comment. Even though that the Tigers made it to the division series, Hinch is not a bad idea.
No, not at all. No, but I don't know. I don't know his contract to know if he's available. But if they could steal him, he's got to be in the conversation. They got to do something. This can't. See, that's the problem with the Yankees. We've all been saying it. As much as we ride the highs and we get pissed off at the lows, it's all about leadership. And the leadership starts with the manager. They don't have it. They don't. Boone will get us all hyped up. We came into this postseason going into the World Series saying that Boone looked the best he ever had. But when the games really mattered, when the championship was on the line, he folded. He collapsed. He panicked. What did I say? The second Boone panics, the series is over. I said it. And that's exactly what happened. You can't bring him back.
Why are we ignoring the elephant in the room? You paid Judge to win the World Series rings, and he just didn't show up.
We mentioned that earlier.
Nicky, I don't know if you've seen my podcasts. I have been going in hard.
We have not been kind to Boone, to Judge.
I've been going in very hard on Aaron Judge, Nicky. Very hard.
No, I have not been kind to Judge. I got on the fans a little bit for their reactions to Judge, which kind of got a mixed reaction. But no, Judge, I said it this morning in this morning's show. Judge was going to be the guy that won us the game. He hit that home run. I was so close to so close to texting Robin Donald. I told you so. but I held back because the game is far from over. And it's just opportunity after opportunity just went down the fucking toilet. And it's not just Judge, it's the whole fucking lineup. You knew that the Dodgers were going to put up offense. I said the final was going to be a high scoring game. I guess 8-6. I was off by one fucking run, the wrong team. But this team had every opportunity to take this game, and they just flushed it down the toilet. Not because of their bats, because their fundamentals flushed down the toilet. Why? Because Boone did not have this team prepared. He accepted the mediocrity of the flaws. He took it. And he just let him ride with it instead of making adjustments. That's what your coaching staff is for, to make the adjustments. The players have to make adjustments in the game, and they let every fan down. That's why we have to sit here and congratulate the fucking Dodgers, because they played to win a World Series. The Yankee played thinking there was another series.
Spot on, man. We've got so many people in the chat, guys. We've got almost 80 people in the chat. Salute to this real ram in the gut. We need to get rid of Aaron Boone and get better pitchers. Salute. Absolutely agree. We need to get rid of Aaron Boone. I will fight the good fight as long as it takes. We have to get rid of Aaron Boone.
I didn't mean to get upset.
Spot on. Dave Roberts did a great job. He made all the right choices. He did an amazing job.
Well,
Warren, I'm so fucking livid and embarrassed as a 30. Dude, I am too. I am disgraced right now. Everything about this World Series was an utter disgrace. From the fan that pried the guy's glove open like it was a fucking clam. From that to the way that we had the worst inning in Yankee history. Gave up 5 unearned runs to blow a no-hitter and a 5-run lead. Fire them all. The kind of pathetic error. Aaron Judge, routine pop-up, just dropping it. No excuse. None. This team is unprepared. This team are not switched on. I'm disgusted. But the thing is, this Yankee team has been desperate to blow this all year long. We saw it in the Guardians series. What did we see? That epic loss against the Guardians. We should have taken that as an example of what this Yankee team is capable of. They are capable of implosion at an epic level. And they waited at this beautiful time right now. It was a fucking disgrace. Fuck them all. Lynn.
I think I'm out of words. This was the team that we thought was built for the World Series. And there were times throughout the season that we thought we were losing the ability to get there. Ended up going all the way and taking names right up until we met the Dodgers. And yeah, and I spoke about this on the show this week already, but yes, statistically Dodgers, by the numbers, the better team. But even going in, we could have overcome it. And because of these errors, these unexpected freezing of mindsets from guys that are producing hard all season long and then freeze on the big stage. That's what you're getting paid the money for. And that's what you should have been preparing for and been prepared for, to your point about Boone. It's just I think emotions are high right now. I think that we in time should look back at the season as a success. And I know it's not a successful season, Derek Jeter and and the Yankee philosophy, unless you win the World Series. So we fell short of that. But this team, if even 90% of it comes back, is every bit as well positioned as they were this year to have a great shot at it. This was no cakewalk for them, and we knew the Dodgers were going to be the hardest matchup of all, and we just couldn't do it. But we got through some really tough teams, and so if we get Soto back, and I believe that that's an absolute, and it's a big if in my mind, so manage that expectation. But if we get Soto back, then we have another shot, and it's gonna be about looking forward as soon as we get all of this energy and anger out of us.
Well, we got about 90 people in the chat, so everybody hit the like button. I don't think we've got 90 likes yet, so everybody hit that like button. Hit it like you hit nothing at all. Hit like you have like Aaron Judge hasn't hit in this playoffs. Hit that like button for us, and if anyone is new to the chat, hit the sub button too. We go live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday 10 a.m. and check out Lynn's channel. Lynn does her show on Sunday, and check out Luca. He will be bringing us Knicks content now because that'll be the only team probably worth watching in New York for the foreseeable time. Because
The Buffalo
Giants
Bills are worth watching.
Yeah, but they're not really New York, are they?
Yeah, he said New York, not upstate.
Oh, okay. Ain't nobody got time for that nonsense. I'm mad enough. I'm not going to get madder.
I mean, Buffalo is nonsense. If you want to talk about nonsense,
Bills have the best record at the moment, so whatever.
Best record in
Last I
what?
checked, Buffalo is in New York.
Don't stop confusing me with football.
What?
What do you mean
The
best
Dolphins-
record in what though? Best record in what? Not the NFL.
Not in the NFL, but in their division they are.
Well, the AFC East sucks. What do you expect?
Yeah, I could speak on that. I could speak on that.
It's like saying we're gonna win the AL Central. I mean, come on.
Yep. That's all I'm
Josh says Soto has got to go. What do you mean in terms of like he's got to leave, or do you mean that we've got to? I don't know what that is. Do you mean that he's just got to leave because why would he ever come back?
Yeah, you really are from Mars.
I certainly hope.
Joshua Kozlov is just a frustrated fan like the rest of us. It's like the fans that wanted, Judge traded yesterday.
Cole, Stockton, salute.
Salute, Stockton. Thank you.
I was waiting for you, Stockton.
Yes, Stockton's come back. Salute,
I was waiting for you.
I was telling Rob, my co-host, about Stockton. So great to have him.
Oh, he's the one that's paying us to insult us. That's pretty great. Keep doing it.
Yeah. Yes, Stockton.
Absolutely.
Hey,
okay.
You can pay me
If
for
you're
an
my
insult.
daddy, I have some loans to give you. I need paid, Daddy. Okay.
No, we do appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much.
Do more. See what else you got. I heard about you the other day, Stockton. So I want to see what you can do. Keep paying for your insults. I want to hear them.
Timothy, Yankees have won 27 times. Be happy with that. Yeah, sure. That'll keep me warm at night.
I know it's better than 27.
This is our first appearance in 15 years. And how about being one of the most embarrassing performances in our history? Yeah, no, I'm sorry. The 27 titles isn't going to keep me warm at night with that. I'm afraid. Not under Aaron Boone.
Like I said, if we would have lost the series and it was a battle every game, I'd be pissed off, but I'd sleep better. This is the reason why we're all still awake. Is they did not give us a competitive series. One game does not make a series. The Dodgers gave us the gentleman's sweep. So I don't want to get a championship argument. Not tonight.
What's Jacob Petruzzi got? The good thing is we have a lot of kids making either their first playoff appearances or their first time having a big role in the postseason. They will be much better next year with his experience. I mean, that's a very good point, and that's something that is definitely worth pointing out. I think Anthony Volpe. You know what? Despite that error, but I will bring that phenomenal super chat up in a minute. In fact, we're going to do it now. Take that Dodger dog nice and deep. Feels good.
Look, whatever you do in your own house is your business, Stockton.
Yeah, man. We don't kink shame in this channel. If that floats your boat, then good for you,
Yep.
brother.
That nice
Everyone's
and
got their
deep-
fetishes,
nice and
Stockton.
deep stuff is your own business. We respect that.
If you want to shove a Dodger dog up your rectum, that's your choice.
Absolutely. Maybe you ran out of hamsters.
Oh,
But if you feel the need to pay us to tell us that, I am more than happy to take more of your money for you to tell us about your sick fetishes. So please, what else do you have?
Perhaps a
I
light
hated
bulb?
this so bad. I needed to laugh.
This is worth staying up for. It really is. And I'm going to say what I've been saying all season long. Any other fan base that wants to come in and throw dirt at us, that's fine. It's even better when we get paid for it.
And Stockton, maybe we keep those super chats coming, but you're a troll without a bridge, so you might want to save some money and at least get a bridge to live under.
No, let him go bankrupt doing it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, one more coming through.
Holy shit.
Nice. Go.
All right.
Well,
Woo!
That should have been at least a $5 super chat. If you're
seriously,
Fine.
Come
If
on.
you're gonna,
you didn't even make me blush with that, Stockton. So you know Stockton slap is slacking. That the best you got?
atta girl, Len.
Stockton slapped himself in the face with a Dodger dog with that one. You got to pay more money if you're going to insult Lynn. I'm a $2 insult, but if you're going to go after Lynn, you got to pay more.
Yeah. And listen, you really don't want to unleash this apparently frustrated woman. You really don't want to unleash me even verbally. Trust me.
I bet he'd like to unleash a Dodger dog up his ass, though.
Mm.
Oh, it is after
Yeah.
dark.
Have some Metamucil, maybe it'll come out.
Whole squad taking the L trade to Yonkers. Yep, spot on, brother.
Oh, not
Spot-
Yonkers.
Yonkers.
I like Nick's reaction here. Dodger fans are big crap talkers. That's a fact. My response is build a team instead of buying it. And
Yeah.
that's coming from somebody with Stephen Cohen as an owner.
Yeah, that's like kind of the pot calling the kettle black, Nikki, isn't it? 'Cause, like,
some jokes just write themselves.
What's
Stockton,
lower?
you're jokes are
What's
really-
lower, your IQ or the way you act?
And
Fair
Stockton,
question.
your jokes are getting lame, bro. It's the same joke you had on Sunday. Come on, you got to bring me better.
Is this Sunil in disguise?
oh, that's a bad one. You got Stockton. You got roasted there. You just got compared to Sunil.
Oh
You should give us more money in reparations for that. You should apologize.
yeah,
repeating
you
the
just
same
got
joke.
Sintuani'd.
All right.
That's it.
Before
What,
it gets
what
ugly,
was worse, the
keep
fifth
going.
inning or Fat Joe's performance?
I didn't even
Fat
listen
Joe's
to Fat Joe performance.
Fat Joe's performance was fucking terrible.
It was the worst.
So what do you
Yeah.
think, guys? Should we?
Before it gets ugly, let's get back to the point.
I
Yeah.
was going to say one more thing. Was his performance that bad, or was it worse when he got roasted in Scary Movie 3?
I
The
didn't see
performance
Scary.
was horrific. It seemed like he forgot his own lyrics, and not a single person in that stadium gave a shit.
I was ready to call a locksmith to find the key for him. He was like
Who let him
so
in?
off pitch. No, he was not it. And certainly not representative of New York City. So many other OGs could have been chosen.
The drop of the OG. This is why I love this lady. I really do.
Lynn's the best. Lynn's the
Yeah,
best.
I know. I'm pretty funny and hip for, a frustrated old lady with high cholesterol.
See, this is why we had to drop the Mother Superior persona. Because
Yeah.
far from it.
Yeah.
I'll repeat what I said on Sunday. I literally, legitimately thought at one point that Lynn was a nun. Because that was your name, Mother Superior. But then, of course, you started talking, and then that language came out. And it was like, yeah, not too many nuns talk like that.
No, I'm but you guys did get me to blush on Sunday, so there's that.
That was great.
See, that's the win right there. The season was worth it.
That took
Whatever.
you $2 to say? I could have paid you $2 for that. You could have used that $2 to get a cheap hooker in LA. Come on. I feel like I'm winning this battle, Stockton. I've only known you for like 6 minutes, and I feel like I'm winning. At least the East Coast won something tonight. Because you ain't winning with these jokes, my friend. You won the World Series, so you can have that, but you ain't winning these jokes.
Yeah. And guess what? We're the ones winning because we're taking your fucking money for your shitty joke. So
Double
we're
win.
the ones that are winning here.
I thought I was tired. I could stay up all night with this shit. I'm in it to win it.
Oh, this is the best dream I've had all vacation.
Moogie.
Brad.
Okay, so let's try to bring this back a little bit because Joshua was saying the Yankees were the better team.
I don't think so.
I don't think they were. Dodgers were the better team in this series, but the Yankees had multiple opportunities to be up in this series. Fat Joe is Skinny Joe next to Lynn. Oh, that's not.
You know
nice.
what? You know what, Stockton? Now you're going too far.
That's not nice.
Scale it back. It
Come
was
on,
funny.
man.
It took a couple minutes ago.
You should.
All right,
No,
you're going to
we're
insult
not
somebody
doing
on
that.
our team. That's uncalled for.
You're gonna have a hell of a lot of problems, brother.
Don't do
trust
that,
me.
man.
Yeah.
Come on, we're having fun here. Let's not get too crazy.
All that therapy undone by Stockton. I don't know how I'll live to see another day.
Like you were here and then you brought it down to where you just kind of like killed it. But again, you paid for that.
Until you went there.
Yeah.
I mean, you can continue to pay us, man, but we're not going to put your messages on screen now for the rest of the time.
So, Donald, bring this back home. Let's wrap things up.
Yeah. Yep. Let's wrap things up. I really do appreciate almost 90 people in the chat this time at night. It's pretty fucking amazing. So we do really appreciate Dodger fans, trolls, and very upset Yankee fans all joining us. It means a lot to us, truly. Banner aside, we do this as much as possible for all you guys to get much content out for you as possible because you all deserve it. Apart from Stockton. So everyone hit the like button and the sub button and be sure to hit the notification bell so you guys know when we go live next. I'm sure we'll have plenty of streams breaking down the Yankees because there's a lot to break down. But I'll go with our final thoughts around the panel and then we'll sign off. And Uncle Tats will get the last word so he can give us his famous final goodbye. So for the Yankee season, let's start with Lynn. What was your final thoughts?
My final thought is, Yogi's right. It ain't over till it's over, and this season is over, but the Yankees are not over, and we're going to be back better than ever.
And Rob.
Tough series. It sucks that the season ended the way it did. But hey, we have a whole off season to look forward to. Let's bring Juan Soto back and let's try to run it back next year. And yeah, we appreciate everyone that's here. We gained a bunch of new subs. There's a bunch of people Dodger fans talking their shit, go ahead. You guys earned it. We can take the banter as long as you don't get disrespectful like certain people that are paying us to do it. But oh, now he stopped paying. He must have ran out of money. Anyway, yeah, let's hope the Yankees are back. I think they will be, but this is a tough pill to swallow because they did not play well at all.
Luca, and be sure to check out Luca's channel, Knicks Cast. Probably the only New York team that might be worth watching for the foreseeable. Luca, give me your final thoughts, brother.
Yeah, you know what? As first World Series I've ever seen the Yankees lose as a baseball fan. I was only 2 months old when the Yankees lost in 03. I was 6 when the Yankees won in 09, and obviously I wasn't a baseball fan yet, so not the point. But as I said, the three emotions: dejected, angry, and sad. Not surprised in all of them. The fact that Aaron Boone's coming back next year is repulsive. It doesn't shock me, but it just makes me angry that there's no change, especially after what happened in Game 5. Not saying it's all his fault, but he is culpable for it. I really don't want to pay Yankee Stadium any money. So you know what? If you're a Yankee fan that's pissed off, go on some road trips. I know that's not going to happen, but I'm honestly looking forward to a trip to Pittsburgh next year, or Florida, Tampa, Miami, wherever. Travel.
Yeah. Maybe do that instead of watching the Yankees. I might take up traveling. Because if Soto doesn't come back, there won't be fucking anything to watch. I've made my feelings perfectly clear. I think this is one of the most disgraceful World Series in Yankee history. I don't think there's too much competition about that. The sweep against the Big Red Machine, well, it's a Big Red fucking machine, so you can't really blame them for that. The Marlins World Series, yeah, that's comparable, but to be honest, they put all their emotion into winning that historic Game 7 against Boston. So you can kind of let it slide because that showed the real championship mentality to win that game. So that doesn't really count. It's this one. This is the most disgraceful World Series in Yankee history. They absolutely shamed themselves, shamed the organization, shamed the city, and so did that asshole fan shame the city, and the fuckers that are hugging them afterwards. You shamed your city too. But this meltdown in the 5th inning, you shamed Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole pitched his heart out, and you failed him. All of you guys, just a complete disgrace. Should all be ashamed. Uncle Tats, give us your final thoughts and close it out.
Absolutely. I've been looking forward to this. On Yankees suck. The Dodgers were better. Boone sucks. He's a complete pussy. He's got no backbone. Doesn't know how to lead a team. You know, he gets you. He's that date that gives you everything you need, and then brings you to the front door and walks away. You don't even get a goodbye kiss. He just leaves you hang. That's my description of Bone. Gives you the best night of your life and leaves you standing at the door with no happy ending. It's a disgrace, and they're bringing him back because he bought him roses. Okay, Soto's got to come back. This is not the last we've seen of this group. We're going to be breaking down a lot of who is player-wise, who's coming back, who's not. I still think that Rojas should be put upside down on the third baseline. Stop waving everybody around. I told you the key to the series was to tie his arms next to his side. Don't let him wave or stop anybody because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. I think he's probably cost us about 32 runs this year. 12 alone in the postseason because he can't stop waving his arms. He's like somebody in the middle of the ocean trying to stay afloat. He waves everybody through. His arms are flailing so much. And you know, Cashman's just sitting back going, "Show me the money." it's he's going to be back. He's got a lifetime contract. His middle name is freaking Steinbrenner, so we know that's not going to change. But this team's going to be back in the postseason next year. Hopefully, we have Soto along with Judge and stay and to kind of right the ship and bring it all home. And I think the main reason that it wasn't a sweep and it was only a gentleman's sweep is unfortunately the injury to Otani. If Otani's healthy, this wasn't even a series. The Dodgers offense is too threatening. But with the right alignment and the right leadership and the right manager, this Yankees team could beat anybody. So it's, our rotation just wasn't enough. I, our starting pitching was supposed to be an advantage, and it wasn't. We won the bullpen game. Woohoo! We were supposed to win that game.
Right. Facts.
And because of poor defense, mental lapses, everything fell the fuck apart. We should be playing in 2 days in LA. But instead, we let them dance on our field, and this organization should be embarrassed for that. So fuck the Yankees. Plus, they lost on my birthday, which I am not happy about. All right, that started my bad mood. But with that being said, we'll be back Friday morning. We'll be back. We'll be breaking down the aftermath over the next couple of days with this team, and with hopefully more of a level head. Hopefully tonight got all the frustrations out. But with that being said, you all know how this all is. You know how this ending goes. Make sure you hit that like button. Share this out. Hit that sub button. Share this out with your friends, your family, the strangers on the corner. This is the Pitchlight Chronicles. This is where fans become family. Whalers pitch out your pride. Play hard, because the Yankees didn't.